Republican governor, former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee is with me now. Governor, welcome back. We love to have you here to make sense of what is going on. How do you see I'm in the pact with Cruz, I'm not in the pact with Cruz, okay, voters, do what you want kind of stance?
I think John Kasich is really regretting that any kind of a deal was made. The reason John Kasich is not campaigning in Indiana right now is because he doesn't have enough money to campaign there and some other states. The fact that this whole deal between the campaigns went public, I think has really hurt both Cruz and Kasich, and neither one of them could afford a bruise right now, much less a major bleeding. But it looks like the act of candidates who are desperately not trying to win, but just trying to stop Donald Trump from winning. And all the talk about I can win, and this sort of says, I really can't.
Yeah, because Donald Trump tweeted out, and my colleague Connell McShane, whom you know well, tweeted, or rather quoted Donald Trump's tweet, talking about it being a joke deal. I mean, that's blunt language, but it does seem to be the case.
Well, it's not much of a deal that's helping either one of them. Look, there's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing really even unethical for that matter. And I know Trump is sort of trying to make it as if this was scandalous. It's just the rawest form of politics, and in politics you do what you can to win. But in this case, it really isn't going to help Cruz. I heard his press conference the other day, and, one of the things that's hurting Cruz is not that Donald Trump has, large crowds. Is that Cruz hasn't been able to change anything in his message. He sounds robotic. If you listen to his answers, he didn't respond to a question. He gave very stock, very well-rehearsed, oft-repeated phrases, and he talked about how the conservatives are coalescing around his campaign. You're scratching your head and said, well, not really. You're losing states right now. Or that I'm the only one that can beat Hillary. And you're thinking, well, not really. That hasn't been told. And I think that if Cruz wants to continue to be a player in this, he's going to have to show some spontaneity. He's going to have to show he's not so theatrical, so very programmed. And I think that's hurting him more than Donald Trump is right now.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting point. You mentioned Hillary Clinton, so I want to ask you this. So she says that women would make up half of her cabinet. Here's her comment.
Canada has a new prime minister, Justin Trudeau. He promised when he took office that he would have a cabinet that was 50% women.
Right.
And then he did it. He made good on his promise. Would you make that same pledge?
Well, I am going to have a cabinet that looks like America, and 50% of America is women. Right?
So that's a yes?
So, Governor, I have nothing against women for very obvious reasons, but when you choose a cabinet, you just want the best people, right? And then everything else falls after that.
I think this is an insult to women to say, I'm going to pick you because of your gender. I think the better thing is to say, I'm going to pick the very best people I can possibly find, and when I do that, it's most likely that I'm going to find at least half who will be women. As a governor who had more women appointees in my cabinet than Bill Clinton did, I can tell you, I didn't go out and say, let's make sure we have a quota. We didn't have one. We looked for good people, and we acted irregardless of their gender. I think it's an insult to a person's gender when you say, well, the reason you got the job is because, biologically you fit the profile that we needed.
No, I agree, because I think that it hurts that person's credibility and her ability to do the job, actually.
Absolutely. By the way, Deirdre, when I hear Hillary and some of those speeches, one you played just a moment ago, I got to tell you, it reminds me of a lady in my neighborhood growing up that we kind of considered the neighborhood scold, that would just scream at us. And honestly, she just needs to learn, get a speech coach, take it down a notch, because it's very grating on the nerves when she raises that pitch way up there. Just a little speech counseling
Just a little
for her.
Speech. All right, but Governor, how many
goodness.
Baseballs did you hit through your neighbor's windows? That's what we need to know. I'm just teasing.
Well, you know what? Truthfully, Deirdre, not enough. Because I earned every baseball I hit through her window hearing that voice.
All right, Governor. That's good. We're going to be looking for a film.